This is Peter. Hello. And I just wanted to say something that just happened. Today I was we took a short drive, went down to the store, then we had to turn around, or I went myself and then came home, and then I had to go back because of something that happened at the store. Where they were supposed to have given us a coupon worth $25, which they did not do, and I didn't realize it at first. So when we went back to the store, we asked again, and they said, well, the woman who cashed us out had not given us the coupon, which is redemption payment. Redeeming, they call it, and so that's symbolic. And they would not give it to us because the girl had cashed out, and the store had cashed out the day before when this was purchased. So, it's no big deal, except for the symbology, because we now have to go to the higher authorities, so to speak, the state office, to ask them if what they were actually giving. I'd never seen anything like this before. It had alert on the ticket, which is very unusual, and I've never gone in where they have these tickets and then they give you cash back on the tickets like that. So anyway, but on the way down to the store, the second trip, there was a turtle in the road, on its back, in the middle of the road where the cars drive. And we even had a little discussion about, should we go back for the turtle? But no, we said it's not far and we'll come back on our way back. And when we came back, the turtle was still on its back. It was a snapping turtle, very big. And we pulled over. I got out. I said, I'm going to go look, because no one else around here is going to go look. And that's part of that. Because another thing happened at the store the second trip. And this was at the end of the second trip coming back home. So at the store, I met a man who I knew. His name was Carlton, old man, maybe about 80, moving pretty slowly, but he used to be let's say a sanitation worker at the school. We had a discussion, and I said to him how genuine, and I can tell he's very honest and always keeps his word, and that kind of attitude. And I said to him, that's very rare, special, and honorable. And he said, yes, but I said to him, or he said to me, but one of us said it's very unusual. And what he said was, well, yes, it is very unusual. And we kind of said, well, you know what? He didn't really know anyone who he felt was like that in this, where he's from here. And I understand that, because I see so many people, including the people at the store, that weren't exactly treating us with the up and up kind of attitude because of the way the system's built and so forth. And that's what everybody is being told to. Basically, they're not being honest or genuine. They're being told to survive in whatever way that is made acceptable to them or by the system, which really isn't honest, because the system isn't honest. So anyway, that's part of this whole trip. On my way back, and I saw the turtle, and so I got out and took the umbrella with me, just to have something, a tool, instead of touching the turtle. And actually, to know, in this area, these turtles, if you run over them, it's against the law. And everybody just goes right over, passes a number of the trucks. There's all kinds of trucks all around, the cars people drive, big four-wheelers and whatever. And they all went over this turtle while I was waiting for to go out on the road and then move him. But I looked, There's blood everywhere underneath him. His back is cracked in half, his shell. It's just horrible and upsetting. But I wanted to get him off the road at least, and I saw that he was moving. He could move his leg. But I don't think he would be able to move and get away. But I did take him off the road and put him to the side, which may or may not have been really a good thing to do, because I don't think he's going to survive. I don't think he could possibly survive. He's got a very severe break in his shell. And anyway, so we have this turtle at the side of the road that I put there, and I didn't want to bury it. I didn't want to leave it in the road to be ran over again. And I don't think it has any chance of survival, but at least I got it off the road, and if it had any chance of moving, it could perhaps. It had one leg that I saw was definitely moving or could move. So that was the story, though, because the turtle, what it represents is something very important. It's long life, and in a way it's eternal life. And that was not being respected by people. And the other thing is the turtle is symbolic of, in the astrological or the celestial sense, it's symbolic of the eternalness of the sky and the stars and the cycles of life. And the symbology is 28 by 13 on the backs of turtles. They have at least certain turtles, the big ones, the real old ones. They have this symbology of 28 around an inner circle of 13, or an inner space of 13 points or indentations in their shell. And so I know that that is related to the astrology that I do, and or the Sumerian Babylon and so forth honored this. We're aware of it. Not that that matters, except for what we're talking about is this honoring of all life and the lack thereof that we're experiencing. And this experience was demonstrating to me and us, in the search for redemption.
Lost your voice again, Peter.
Wow. I'm going to try that again. You can, maybe what it means is we can wave at the world and make the mirror go away. This mirror, which I think is like the simulator, is like a mirror. And there's a song I was reminded of this morning also called Room Full of Mirrors. And before I went to the store, and it's by Jimi Hendrix, and it is, I never exactly understood it, except for some of these ideas of being caught in the maze or the grid or the simulator and not able to stop the mirror effect, which is in every human being has the bipolar brain. And I don't want to go too far on, but we watched the movie Star Trek Picard. It's the latest Star Trek series. It's coming up to its culmination, the last episode, and it'll probably be the last episode of the Star Trek TV series, at least the ones that involve their main cast characters like Picard and coming from Kirk and Spock. And this last episode, they're dealing with the Borg taking over an AI intelligence invasion of the fleet of the Star Trek fleet, and what do they call the Galactic Empire, the military industrial complex of which these Star Wars people are representing in this universe. So this Borg takeover was led revealed in episode 9, and they have brought back all the past characters into this show. So they're all together. And what happened was they had a ship that they're being given that is the redemption, that is, of the first Enterprise ship that Geordi, who was the engineer, has refitted and made new, but he did it outside of using the AI technology grid. So when the Borg invasion, which is an AI invasion, it's not just physical, but it's of the electromagnetic fields and all that, and it is has taken over all the beings through the genetics. So to get to the end of the story, the Star Wars episode was representing the takeover, the AI intelligence of humanity and the universe through whatever technology methods they have available, and promulgating the idea, which also includes common ignorance and not being locked into the electronic grid, which is also built into the now in the genome or the DNA code. They've invaded the DNA code in all of the people and the aliens and all the species. So the reference relation to what's really going on is really pretty spectacular. And I'm sharing it for us because it related. The room full of mirrors, which is this effect that I have been experiencing in relationships, and just on the way down to the store, it was absolutely like the mirror was visibly present in front of me. I saw us countering back and forth with comments, and it was like, man, how do I get out of this? How do we get out of it? Or, how do I stop? I tried to say, stop. I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to have this, be in the mirror. And I'll just add, in the song I wrote called, which was Jesus Exegesis song, Hey Panhandle song of the Treasure Tree. And that song, one of the main lines is the mirror's gone. No more mirror, it's finished. And I realized I had gotten beyond that in the enabling of being able to write this music or this song that way, because it wasn't one of these songs that's like a hypnotism that is being used constantly and in video, movies, television, music, arts, etc., business, everything is all filled with that medium. And wow, so that's coming full circle. And so that's what brought me to, okay, I've got to go on the talk today, and we'll see what happens. What happens with the screen as an information is, on my screen, when I don't touch any buttons for a long period of time, the screen goes black. And when it goes black, I have to hit a button to get it to come back. And when it comes back, I have shut myself off. The microphone goes off. And it's an automatic, that's how the AI works. It works on our autonomism. And if we accept being, I just do this automatically and without thinking, well, then we're allowing for that takeover to occur and the prevention or the blocking of our effective communications. And it is a modus operandi of what's being done with the goggly-eyed, Zuckerberg, Bellgate, and Amazonia, Bozos the clown, and the rest of that whole infiltrated inculcation of media and monitoring and monopoly system in place in the world. So, it's good. Whew. And thanks for the Mary because of the turtle. Um, I'm not sure if you actually said turtle or not, but I heard turtle, and I know that it related directly, and I wanted to share that because we do have that experience when we're like that, not the hare, we're the turtle. We're playing the long game, not the short game, and we want to be able to get to the end. I said that in our relationship conversation. I said, you know, I just want to get to the end game before they shut my turtle down. You know, it's like that. If you don't get to it, that's like the end of our life. If we don't get to it before that, okay, well, they caught us and we are going to be caught in the loop. That kind of idea, if we don't kind of get to it all the way, go for, you know, the long view and be with it, because all is like that. So yeah, that symbology is, you see, today is an extremely significant day in of the year. It's like what I call a holy day. Maybe it's the real Easter. And what it is celestial terms, is the sun lines up with the Andromeda, which is the galaxy that's our partner galaxy. And Andromeda and our galaxy are going to unite like in 1 billion years or something like that. They're going to come together. All the stars in our galaxy are going to mix in with all the stars in the Andromeda galaxy and coalesce or whatever. And today the sun hits Andromeda, and Andromeda was lined up at 0 degrees Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac signs, at 0 AD, at the beginning of the time when Christ was born, or supposedly, and that era began. And it's lasted about 2,100 years, not quite. And I think when we get up to about 2,100 years, yes, this is significance, celestial speaking, or maybe universally here, locally, in Earth and so forth. So for whatever that's worth, it's just this date is once a year, and it's lined up with the other special date, which is December the 18th, when the sun lines up, our sun lines up with the galactic center. So Mary, this is kind of sharing in your question about, I'd like to get some form of a galactic or galaxy view. And I don't mean that it's directly, has to be directly related. It's not necessarily objectively, literally speaking, the same, but there's definitely these references which are in the creation model, in the time model, time, space, and stuff, of course, but nonetheless, I think it gives us some form of a objective view beyond that as well, so that we can look at it and say, okay, why do we have interest in the celestial or the universal or the solar, which is our sun, and but also, most importantly, our real being of light, our own star essence, if you will, our solar, which people think is soul, but that is a misnomer, because it's not. It's a very short-sighted view. Something like saying that our emotional body is our only body, or our mental body and our soul, emotional body and physical, or that's all we are as a complex, and like that, in the 3D world. It's very short-sighted, and yet, you know, that's, most of the people don't even have a clue about honor. Carlton, my friend, talking a little bit, and I gave him a note, and I said, Carlton, I've given you my number. I said, call me anytime you need help, or you just want to call, please. I'll come over if you need anything. You know, he's 80 years old. I think he lives by himself. And so, you know, it's good to have somebody who's available like that, I think. It's good for anybody to have somebody like that, just, you know, for whatever reasons. So, you know, that's what we're doing. We're calling people, we're talking to them, we're saying, hey, you really want to know, you really want to be, you really want to see, and you want to get this real freedom, I'm going to relate with you. And the other thing I saw was on TV. I saw Malcolm McConaughey. That's his first name, not Malcolm. What's his name? Matthew McConaughey. Matthew is an apostle, also named, by the way. But he was on saying, you all, he's put something out there that's saying, we all want to have more connection. It was an advertisement for something. He says, we can help you with this connection. And here we're doing this show or video or something. I didn't follow it all the way through because I could see that what they're doing had something to do probably with wanting to also make some money out of it or do something in the social cultural field, which may or may not be the real freedom. But they were talking about, they use the words freedom, and they use the words something like recognition or consciousness, and that, I don't know, other words, you know, like that. And so there is a movement this way, you know, whether they're on or us or not. I probably lost my mic again. Nope, I didn't lose it that time. Okay, that's telling me to be quiet. And that's really cool. I'm really glad I got to share all that. And thank you very much, everybody. Really good. Okay.